Здравствуй, дорогой друг. Канал MoseusPlay, Hogwarts Legacy, отделение Слизерин, и мы продолжаем. Так, ну-ка, дай-ка Люму сюда. Кстати, неплохо тогда выглядит, когда Люмус он дает. Оп. Тени прям неплохие. Кстати, сейчас, секунду. Не то. Так, точка с летучим пламенем. Так, точка быстрого перемещения с летучим пламенем. Вы можете открыть карту в любое время, чтобы мгновенно добраться до любой обнаруженной точки с летучим пламенем. Открыть карту. Так, Хогвартс разделен на две основные области. В левой части карты живут студенты и профессора. Здесь расположены гостиная и большой зал. Выберите лестницу Хогвартса, чтобы продолжить. Так, это то, что удалось. Ну, понятно. Пристройка библиотеки. Так, нам центральный зал, да? Да.
And here we are, quite the time saver. These stairs lead directly to Central Hall.
Так, центральный зал, окей. Мне вот интересно, какой гений геймдизайна придумал на Escape дать инвентарь? Ну, или что-то подобие инвентаря. Я хочу выйти в меню. А как мне выйти в меню? Вот. А в меню можно выйти через F10. Это просто гениально. Я хочу проверить рейтрейсинг, где он? Трассировка, все хорошо. Пойдем, мать. Покажешь, что к чему здесь.
That should be all for now. You'll be expected to attend both Charms and Defense Against the Dark Arts classes today. And I'd like to be sure you get to Hogsmeade as soon as possible to replace the supplies you lost on the way here.
You mentioned Hogsmeade, Professor.
Hogsmeade is the only all-wizarding village in Britain and is home to an array of shops and pubs. You should be able to find all of the school supplies you require in Hogsmeade. You will also, I imagine, enjoy many a butterbeer there with friends in due course.
Can you tell me more about the Defense Against the Dark Arts class?
Defense Against the Dark Arts, as the name implies, focuses on how to defend oneself against the evils that lurk beyond these walls. A mastery of Defense Against the Dark Arts is required for those who aspire to become auras. Fortunately, we are lucky to have the ever-gifted Professor Hecat in charge of our students' education in that regard.
What will I learn in Charms class?
Exactly what you might expect. Spells, charms, jinxes, all terribly useful. I think you will enjoy Professor Ronan. He's a clever and entertaining wizard, and a talented teacher.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
A lot to absorb on your first day. And you have much to learn. Happily, your professors have agreed to create additional assignments for you outside of class. You'll be up to speed in no time. Judging by your adept use of Revelio earlier, I'd say Professor Fig succeeded in at least showing you the basics.
He did, Professor.
He's been terribly vague as to the events preceding your arrival, specifically about what happened after that awful dragon attack. My suspicion is that there's more to the story than a search for belongings and an extended trip up to the castle.
I'm sorry, Professor, but I'm afraid that's all there is to it.
Almost precisely what Professor Fig said. Speak of the devil, Professor Fig. Your ears must have been burning.
Oh?
Yes. You seem to have provided our new fifth year with a solid foundation in the basics of spellcasting.
Ah, I'm afraid I can't take all the credit there, Professor. They've a rare aptitude for magic, it seems.
Well, I'm just glad you both arrived in one piece. Perfectly good boats and carriages to Hogwarts, and you chose to fly in the path of a dragon.
I wouldn't say I chose the dragon's path, Professor. Rather unfortunately, it would seem that it chose us.
Very well. Enough chit-chat. I need to get to class myself. Might I rely on you, Professor Fig, to explain the details of the field guide's map?
Of course.
Thank you. Good luck today. And remember to use your field guide. It will be invaluable to you. And invaluable to me, as I'll be using it to keep up to date on your progress.
Yes, Professor.
Come and find me in my classroom after you've attended both classes today, and I'll explain more about those assignments I mentioned. And we'll see if we can't get you to Hogsmeade for those supplies.
Так, окей.
Careful now.
Lumos. It's good to see you, Professor.
And you. I was hoping our paths would cross today, before you immersed yourself in studies. Did I hear you masterfully evade Professor Weasley's interrogation regarding our late arrival?
I did my best, but I'm fairly certain she suspects that we're not being entirely forthcoming.
Yes, well, Professor Weasley is a brilliant and astute witch. It was right to keep the details to yourself for now. We don't know where this path we've embarked upon will lead. It may require a bit more flexibility with your time than she would approve of. And she may feel obliged to share details with the headmaster that would be better left between us.
Understood, Professor.
Good. Now, as capable as you are, I believe the ability you possess obliges you to be well trained. Happily, you have the benefit of an exceptionally skilled team of witches and wizards to guide you. Speaking of guides, and so that I may avoid another not-so-subtle reproof from Professor Weasley, why don't I show you the clever enchantment we included in the field guide's map? Unfold it and have a look.
Так. Это у нас карта, тут какие-то задания, но сначала не это. Как-то вот это, не знаю, неудобно, что ли, они сделали. Как-то наваливается прямо на тебя. Слишком много всего на одной картинке. Левиосо, акацио, да? Как отсюда выйти? Ну вот я просто хочу отсюда просто выйти. Не хочу ничего отслеживать. Просто выйти хочу и все. Игра дает отсюда выйти. Игра не дает отсюда выйти.
The map is enchanted to help you find your way.
This will be incredibly helpful.
Так я в
Thank you.
рекомендации должен был
Now,
залезть.
sounds like you've quite a day ahead, what with classes and a trip to Hogsmeade for supplies, including your own wand. You'll enjoy Mr. Ollivander. He's an exceptional craftsman and a good friend. I shall reach out when I have more information about our mysterious locket. For now, focus on your classes and pay attention. More than your owls may hinge on the magic you are able to master within these walls.
Здесь нам сейчас кое-что должны были показать. Что-то надо сделать, да? Но игра это сама скипнула. Так, занятие по защите согласно карте этот класс профессора, та-та-та. Возможно, лучше использовать в руководстве зачарованный компас В, чтобы он помог мне найти дорогу. Занятие по защите темных искусств. Вот здесь что? Да, сюда, хорошо. Ага. И он прям так показывает, да? Окей.
Lumos.
Интересно, тут есть какие-нибудь секретки? Ведь по-любому должны быть. Замок. Но не нашего уровня. Хорошо. Ладно. Идем наверх.
Is that all you've got?
Levioso!
Professor Hecat!
Perhaps you'd be good enough to blast each other to pieces in your own time. I get new students every year, but I only have one Hebridean black skull. It was a token from the Great Poacher Raid of 1878. No doubt you've heard of it. Now, you may be asking yourself how an old woman like me single-handedly took out the largest poacher ring in eastern Wales and lived to boast about it. Knowledge. To the wise, age matters very little. Today we will review a spell that has saved me from death at the hands of dark wizards more times than I care to remember. Levioso.
Levioso? A levitation charm?
Levioso! A surprised opponent is a weak opponent. Care to defend yourself, Master Pruitt? No? One thing I've learned as an unspeakable is the value of simplicity, especially in the heat of battle. Now, let's practice what we've just learned, starting with something small.
Так, фиксируем палочку, пробел. Непонятно, для чего вообще ускорение придумали.
Levioso.
Now, let's try something a little larger. Let us begin with the basic cast. See how the dummy deflected your cast? This time, cast Levioso first, then the basic cast. Remember, a surprised opponent is a weak opponent.
Levioso.
Good. Well done. Very good, but the best way to practice is by dueling. We'll start with you two. Duelists, take your marks.
Надо тут подуэлиться.
Now, I want a fair duel, using only Levioso, basic cast, and Protego. You may begin.
Ну ладно, давай попробуем.
Levioso. Good form. I know. This can't be your first duel. Let's just say I'm a quick.
All of my students listen.
Levioso.
I do enjoy life.
Ну как-то он это. ОФК стоит.
Your opponent assigned to attack or defend yourself.
Bad for a beginner. You give as good as you get.
I put you on the spot, and you rose to the challenge. Points to Slytherin.
Thank you, Professor Hecat. Glad to have the opportunity to practice.
If what I've seen today is any indication, we can expect great things from you. I demand excellence from my students. They are capable of achieving it, and they must achieve it. A classroom duel is one thing, but battling dark wizards, or as ever more likely, goblins, is a different kettle of Grindylows entirely.
Understood, Professor.
So, I'd advise you to keep practicing whenever you can. Perhaps Mr. Sallow will have some ideas for you. Again, well done today. I shall reach out soon with additional assignments.
Так, побольше бы сражений. Так, к этому надо подойти, да?
I enjoyed that. Well, that duel was quite something. Everyone will be talking about it.
It was certainly good practice.
Practice? Felt more like I was dueling an expert. Didn't expect a new student to be so deft with a wand. Then again, perhaps this wasn't your first duel.
In fact, it was. Perhaps I have a knack for it.
Be coy if you like, but I know better. Magic requires intention and talent. You know, you might be a perfect fit for a certain exclusive, unsanctioned dueling
Ну, вот это
organization.
интересно.
Exclusive and unsanctioned. Count me in.
Excellent. Knew I was right about you. If you want to get the most out of your time at Hogwarts, you're going to need to break the rules now and then. Whether it's joining a secret dueling club, or sneaking into the restricted section of the library, you just have to be clever enough not to get caught.
Thank you, Sebastian. I'll keep that in mind.
Good. Pleasure chatting with you. I'm sure I'll see you soon. Perhaps somewhere unsanctioned? We'll see if your performance today was sheer luck or actual skill. Look for Luke and Brattleby near the clock tower entrance. If you're interested.
Так, часовую башню, да, предлагает?
If you know the right spells, it's dark wizards that'll fear you, not the other way around.
Но есть же еще не только башня, есть... Так, доступны побочки, да, это, я так понимаю, побочки. Есть же... Блин, как они неудобно карту сделали, вообще отвратительно. Я не знаю, это как бы не бездарно, но это максимально неудобно. Так, по идее, надо сюда, да? И сюда. Еще выше, да? А это не туда же дорога? А, нет, вроде нет, что-то новенькое. Окей. Так, и куда? Сюда? Так, да. Стоять, что-то я... А, я же могу на карту ориентироваться. Точно.
Professor Ronan tends to go on a bit.
Так, кстати,
We
тут
sometimes have to
сундук.
remind him to finish the lesson.
Подожди, а ты там сундук?
The werewolves joined the goblins in the uprising.
Werewolves, where were you? In the Goblin Rebellion of
И что?
And by the end of it, the Minister for Magic was Albert Boot.
No, it wasn't.
Lumos. Revelio.
I won't say my goodbyes. I shall cheer for the boy who says you're telling
I'm not
lies.
telling lies, Peeves.
Не
It was
открывается.
Albert Boot.
No, it wasn't. It was Basil Flat.
Ooh, fight, fight. It's a bold attack.
Непонятно.
Was the Minister a boot or the Minister a flat?
Кто такой-то?
Stop it, Peeves. You'll get us in trouble.
In trouble you will be, but you can't give Peeves a smack.
И
She
что-то
says
рофлит
it's a
над
boot,
ними.
and he says it's a flat.
Peeves.
Так, а здесь что? Здесь ничего, но здесь сундук какой-то. Только там. А, вот здесь он где-то, да? Нет. Иски?
There's only one common room that everyone wishes they could get in.
Ну давай еще, да, еще разок.
It's been that way for 1,000 years, or so Garlic says. Every time I
Вау,
find there,
да, вау. Заходим.
Here, behind you. There is an open seat here.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Nettie. So you are the new student. Have you met Professor Ronan yet?
Shall we begin? Welcome to Year 5 of Charms. Now, this will be a crucial year in your education on the art of charm work. But I am confident that we will take hold with the passion and rigor requisite of such a challenge. Right, now, everyone, please open your textbooks to page 517. But before we begin, can anyone here tell me the difference between the incantations of the color change and growth charms? Anyone? Anyone? Hmm? I am afraid it is too late to study now. My, the summer months must have really taken a toll on you all. By the looks of it, you all spent your holidays practicing Obliviate on one another. Do you even remember how to perform a basic summoning charm? Well, it seems that we are in dire need of review. Everyone get into pairs and take positions on opposite sides of the classroom. Now let's put those textbooks to use as the blunt objects you so believe they are, and take turns summoning them out of one another's hands. Only one book will be needed per partnership, Miss Dale. Thank you. Get into place now.
Так, акцию. Так, фиксируем палку.
Accio.
That is not bad.
You are a swift learner. I see a lot of potential, but remember, potential is nothing without practice. Keep at it. You might just rival Miss Onai here. Very good, everyone. That's enough of that. Well, as you all seem to have the basics down, and it is an exceptionally lovely day, I was thinking that we might have ourselves a little excursion outside for a spot of fresh air. After me.
Интересно у них уроки. Блин, поймал на мысли, что если бы была бы такая же школа магических заклинаний с палочками, да я бы все книги переучил бы, блядь. Вместо матана лучше заклинания. Во кайф-то, а?
So, what better than a bit of sport to put our prowess with the summoning charm to the test, right? So why don't we have our newest student start us off?
Так, а что делать?
Very simply, cast Accio on one of the spheres and relinquish your charm at the last possible moment. Now, excellent good happens to the best of us.
А, якобы на очках надо остановить, да? А можно мне выделение вернуть?
Very good. Points to Slitherine. But there's certainly no sport in playing without some friendly competition. Miss Onai, would you care to give our new student a bit of a challenge? Come on up.
Что-то я не понял.
You be the blues just as before, and Miss Onai, you are playing red. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Давай поближе встанем. А, нет, она тоже поближе, да? А можно мне... А, она за раз якобы должна. Ну ладно. Ну давай. А, надо прям точно. Да ты чё, прикалываешь, что ли? Ты ж бот, блин. Так, где-то на оранжевый надо тормозить, да? Тормози, не падай. А, ну уже не получится. Уже нет смысла, да.
Well done.
Кто ж знал-то?
Let us make this a bit more interesting, shall we?
I think we are well past interesting at this point.
А, они ездить, что ли, будут? Интересно.
Enough chatter. Focus now. You will need it. This round settles it all.
Watch this.
Так, надо посмотреть, как они едут, да? Ой, я что-то это... Ну, как всегда. Я что-то как всегда. Давай уже. Че, они проедут? Ну, короче, будем считать, что я выиграл. Просто фор для нее на самом деле. А, это типа игра нам так подыгрывать. Ну ладно, я не против.
Quite impressive.
Вот так вот, сучка.
Very good, both of you. Well done.
Понятно, ладно.
Class is dismissed. Gather your things on the way out.
Good game back there. I must admit, I think I underestimated you. Took me weeks to become proficient with Accio. Took weeks for me to get anything right when I transferred here. It gets easier, I promise.
Thank you, but I've been holding my own.
I appreciate your confidence. I transferred here from Wagadu just before my 4th year. My mother received an offer to teach divination here. Before I knew it, we had left Uganda and were halfway around the world at a new school in a new country.
This may seem an odd question, but is magic the same there as it is here?
Mostly, yes. But I did have to learn how to use a wand when I arrived here. Hardly anyone at Wagadu uses one.
Spells cast without a wand must be less powerful than those cast with a wand.
No, not at all. Wizarding magic cast without a wand is just as powerful. I find wandless magic to be much more instinctive. Not to mention quite convenient if one is without their wand. I must admit, however, that I am growing quite fond of using a wand. It seems very dramatic.
Тут интересно, кстати, без палочки.
Its address is Mountains of the Moon. It is not so much a castle as a beautiful edifice carved out of the mountainside. I remember the first time I saw it, the mist was so thick I could hardly make out anything at all. And then it just materialized before me, this enormous school that seemed to be floating in midair.
Is Wagadu much bigger than Hogwarts?
Wagadu School of Magic is the largest wizarding school in the world. So yes, bigger than Hogwarts. But it never seemed intimidating or overwhelming to me. It always felt like home.
It's nice to learn about another wizarding school.
Thank you for asking. I do miss Wagadu, but I am glad to be here at Hogwarts. Ah, I think Professor Ronan wants to talk to you. Better not keep him waiting. Until next time.
Какая простая пастушка. Так, сюда, да?
You wanted to speak with me, Professor? I did. I trust your first charms lesson lived up to expectation?
Well, an outdoor competition wasn't exactly the lesson I was expecting, sir.
What charm is there in the expected? You did well, managing to best as gifted a student as Miss Onai.
Thank you, Professor. I enjoyed the match.
Miss Onai is always a fierce competitor, though I sense that she is a bit distracted of late. Now, Professor Weasley has asked that your professors give you instruction outside of the ordinary curriculum. Expect to hear from me soon regarding a special assignment that I am preparing for you.
Хорошо. Так, а ты что хочешь сказать? Окей. Что-то с сундуком. Нет, да? Журнал заданий. Второй уровень нужен. А у нас какой уровень? Чуть-чуть и будет второй, да? Тут побочки появились, я так понимаю. Сундуки с сокровищами, страницы руководства. Блин, еще хер найдешь все это? Побежали. Нет, нет времени. Бежать далеко и долго. Заодно на школу посмотрим. Ничего нет. Ничего. Ну ладно. Ну, страница появилась. Страница руководства. Если только вы не находитесь в отчаянном положении, вероятно, лучше избегать этого конкретного туалета, поскольку, как утверждается, он является одним из любимых мест Пивза для его нелепых шуток. А вот и он. Ну ладно. Оставим его наедине. Кто-то здесь. Пустой сундук, ну ладно. Там тоже сундук, окей. Что-то здесь, да? Десмонд Долговязый. Страница руководства. Статуя волшебника Десмонда Долговязого, высокого. и худого волшебника, который, кажется, очень гордится собой. По какой причине, никто точно не знает. Так, игра, можно побыстрее подгружать? Здорово.
Can I help you?
Sebastian told me to see you about a club.
If Sebastian vouches for you, that's all I need to know. I coordinate duels for crossed ones. A dueling club of sorts. It's invitation only, so you must have really
Ты,
impressed
блин,
Sebastian.
не слишком ли молодой для такого?
I seem to have a knack for dueling.
Then you've come to the right place.
How does cross wands work exactly?
You show up, I match you with other duelists, and whoever is still standing in the end wins. It's our way of determining the school's greatest duelist once and for all. And to liven things up, the winner is awarded a prize. Interested?
Of course. Dueling's an entertaining pastime.
I agree. Besides, in crossed ones, you could duel with a partner if you like. Your first time I'll pair you with Sebastian. Next time, you'll need to bring a partner along, or duel alone. So, care to step into the ring?
Get me in the ring.
Spectacular! Let the fireworks begin!
Так, ну давай надерем кому-нибудь его волшебный зад. Да, давай. Так, пробивайте желтые щиты, используя контролирующие, такие как левитационные чары Левиоса. Привязка к капслок позволяет вам отслеживать врагов без прицеливания. Стрелки для переключения целями при использовании привязки. Окей. А, он попал, что ли, по мне? Ну-ка на. Блин, не успел. Да, опять не получилось. Опять не получилось. Все, прошел. Все, вроде освоились. Следующее.
Nice work. Sebastian wasn't wrong about you. There's strong competition ahead, but keep this up and you could be the next school champion.
Brilliant. Count me in.
I shall. Now, it takes time to organize these duels, but check with me later. I may have something lined up for you. Again, congratulations on your first Crossed Ones victory. Well fought.
Ну ладно.
Hope to see you back here again.
Так, куда еще можем пойти? Мы здесь. Есть что-то здесь. Вот это что? А как туда попасть? Я ничего не отслеживаю. В смысле, я ничего не... Вот же. Да в смысле? Награда, рукоятки палочек, кстати, есть. А на огонь можно прыгнуть? Здесь есть же огонь. Вот. Блин, неудобно, пипец, вообще. Это самая неудобная карта, которую я когда-либо видел. Так, палочку нам.
Oh, hello. Thank you for asking. I'm Cressida, by the way, and I'm afraid everything's not all right. I may be in a spot of trouble with the librarian. You see, I'm fond of creating my own charms. Thought I'd perfected my light as a feather charm to use on my library books. My arms get so tired carrying them around all day. But I must have confused the Latin word for feather with bird in my incantation, because when I opened my bag just now in the library, they literally took flight.
That sounds a rather complicated way to simply avoid carrying your books.
Possibly. But where's the fun in simplicity? New charms and spells have to come from someone. Why not me? I collect the books and remove the charm myself. Except this isn't the first time one of my charms has threatened a piece of the library. Our meet told Madame Scribner they were my books flying around. So she said that if I caused her any more trouble, she'd write to my parents. Perhaps you could get them for me. There are only 5. She won't be suspicious of a new student looking around.
Why did Army tell Madame Scribner that they were your books?
Oh, to be perfectly honest, I don't think he meant any harm. I think he was impressed, bragging on my behalf. Amit spends a lot of time gazing at the stars, but he knows a good charm when he sees one.
I suppose I could help, if I have the time.
Oh, I'd very much appreciate it. One of the books is my diary. I'd rather it not fall into the wrong hands. If you could collect them and bring them to me, I can remove the charm.
Так, есть книги, а есть еще какое-то задание, да? Здесь вот еще что такое. Огонь. Да.
There's something in there.
Hello, I don't believe we've met.
Oh, hello. I'm Lenora. Pardon me if I seem a little distracted at the moment. Everyone thinks I'm utterly balmy. Samantha thinks I'm potty. But it's this painting. I never noticed it before. If I know Hogwarts, and I do, an empty frame doesn't appear for no reason. There's something more to this.
Are there any other empty paintings like this around the school?
Yes, a few. This entire place is somewhat of a riddle, to be honest. If I can work out the riddle of this one, I'll know what to do with all of them. As good a place as any to begin.
Have you gained any insights about the painting since you've been studying it?
I did discover that casting Lumos has an effect of some kind. But I'm not sure what to do next.
If I have the time, I may look. Could be intriguing.
I've been racking my brains long enough. I hope you'll have better luck than I have.
Так, Люмос, да?
Do come and find me if you stumble on something illuminating.
That spot must be a clue. I should look around in case it's nearby.
Найдите место, изображенное на картине. Интересно, на карте как это пометится? Никак, да? А где задание с библиотекой?
Can you remind me what you needed help with again?
I need someone to collect the 5 books flying about the library for me. One of them is my personal diary, and I'd really like to have it back before it falls into the wrong hands.
Серьезно, игра не может запомнить? Подожди. Что-то не понимаю. А где библиотека? Что-то непонятно ни хера. А, это они есть, что ли? А, или нет? Что-то еще летает, да? Садите, пацаны. Ой, это что было сейчас такое? Фига. А что это такое? А, это еще билды, что ли, можно делать? Интересно. Так, что-то здесь еще.
This looks like the location from the painting. What could be so special about it?
Accio. Revelio.
Ну, явно не получается. А, вот Люмус
Let's get
получил.
you back to your frame, little moth.
Донести, да, его надо?
I knew there was a connection. I should tell Lenora that I solved the puzzle of that empty frame.
Ну ладно. Загадка какая-то. Так, идем на задание.
What about the room, Professor?
I was thinking the same thing, Deke. Perhaps you could help.
Oh, excuse, Deke.
Ah, there you are. I trust your first classes went well?
They did, Professor.
I heard as much from Professors Hecat and Ronan. Seems Professor Fig taught you quite a bit before you arrived. I'd wager there's a good deal more to your travels here than what you've told me. Isn't there?
Nothing more, Professor.
I see. Like trying to get a sonnet from a streeler. Regardless, you must continue to build upon what you've learned. In that regard, I've asked your professors to help hasten your progress with some extra assignments.
Professor Ronan did mention something about that.
In fact, Professor Ronan will meet you outside momentarily to assign your first one. Now, regarding the trip to Hogsmeade I mentioned earlier, we've arranged to replace the supplies lost on your way here, including seeds, potion recipes, and spellcrafts.
Thank you, Professor.
And Mr. Ollivander will connect you with the perfect wand. You've managed your classes well with a borrowed wand, but you'll find the magic you cast with your own wand to be far superior.
There's an Ollivander's in Hogsmeade.
There is. Most people are familiar with the shop in Diagon Alley. We're fortunate to have someone like him nearby. Mr. Ollivander is a genuine craftsman and highly skilled wand maker. I would trust no one else to pair me with a wand.
I've never heard of a spellcraft before, Professor. What is it?
A spellcraft is a recipe of sorts used when conjuring objects. I shall explain more about them when you begin working with transfiguration magic.
Can you tell me more about the potions shop, Professor?
J. Pippin's Potions stocks a wide array of potions ingredients, although they rarely sell recipes. Professor Sharp asked that they have a couple of particular recipes on hand for you.
I'm eager to get to Hogsmeade.
Very well. I'd like you to make your first visit to the village with a classmate. Help you get your bearings. Perhaps Sebastian Sallow or Natsai Onai. I've noticed you spending time with them.
I'd like to go with Sebastian.
Glad to hear it. Mr. Sallow is a capable young wizard, and he knows the area. He'll keep you well clear of any of Victor Rookwood's undesirables en route.
Rookwood?
A rather unsavory local. Best to avoid him and his associates, including his right hand of sorts, Theophilus Harlow, if you can. Once you've finished Professor Ronan's assignment, your friend will meet you at the castle doors. No time to waste. The sooner you complete your work, the sooner you can enjoy a butterbeer at the Three Broomsticks.
Странно, ведь девчонка из Уганды говорила, что палочка-то не обязательно. А вот это говорит, что это якобы усиливает заклинания. Непонятно, кому верить. Может, это какая-то школьная магическая коррупция. Так, давай зажжем огонь. Ну, огонь будет сжигаться. Ну, гори. Гори. Огонь гори. Огонь не загорается. Непонятно. Идем сюда, да? Чего огонь не горит? Он вообще должен гореть? Вроде зеленый. Непонятно. Так, ну побежали. Бежим, бежим, бежим. Я так понимаю, сундуки и прочее пока еще рано смотреть, потому что уровень мелковат. А, через низ, да? А здесь что? Можно покрутить шар. Ну зачем дверь-то закрыл? Территория Хогвартса, окей. Так. Заперто. Задание. Ну, побежали, вроде так, что ли, получается, надо делать, да? О, да, книги. Ну, давай книги сделаем, почему нет? Давай, парень, беги. За что? Так, вырываемся с двух ног.
I'm going to have to use Accio to get to those books. Got it. Only 4 more to go.
А где еще? Нет. А вот. Так, ну-ка, давай-ка это. Шутки плохи. Иди сюда.
This must be Cressida's diary. I'd want this back too if I were her.
Так, сегодня был хороший день, пока Гаррет не опрокинул свое дурацкое зелье в златоглаза, которых я так давно наставил вам. Пришлось вылить все в котел и начинать заново. Он просто невыносим, думает, что ему нет ранних зельеварений, постоянно срывает уроки профессора Шарпа своими экспериментами. Одно могу сказать точно, если бы Гаррет не был племянником профессора Уизли, его бы тут же исключили из школы. Сегодня на ужин снова копченая рыба. Она даже начинает мне нравиться. Хотя мясной пирог вкуснее. Так, еще 2 странички, да? Одна сверху. Что за F сейчас была? Так, иди сюда. Не то. Опять не то. Опять не то. О, отлично. С 10-го раза попал. Так. Еще одна, да? А где она? Вот она. Да что такое-то? Так, теперь можно с ней поговорить. Ну, можно меня выпустить. Спасибо.
Hello, Cressida. I collected your books, including your diary.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you. I'll happily take the heavy lot off your hands now.
Unless you want your classmates to know how you really feel about them, you might reward me for my time.
Oh, you're not at all who I
Ой,
thought
давай
you
не
to be.
будем.
And you're not who I thought you to be. Based upon your diary, you seem terribly judgmental.
Вот он правильно делает. Давай, давай
I shall
денежки.
pay you, but you cannot begin to imagine what I shall be writing about you next.
Да, давай деньги сюда.
Should never have trusted them.
Хорошо. А то всякую гадости там пишет и думает, это останется безнаказанным. Прикольно. Так, у меня явно поднимается температура, поэтому давай на этом закончим. Я за напильником. Ты можешь ознакомиться с другими сериями на канале. Конечно же. Увидимся в следующей серии.